look upon my work and despair.
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic. Huzzah!
Nerdrotic.com, please.
The funny thing about the nega bands on the TV show is that they're actually meant to be a big callback to the OG version of Captain Marvel, the very first version, who was a man called Mar-Vell, who did appear during the Captain Marvel movie in the MCU, but he was played by Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit.
What? What the fuck?
But he was played by Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit.
Toby and the light source is hitting the right side of his face. And I can't believe I'm about to say this. I never thought I would say this in my entire online career. But look closely at Tobey Maguire's dick. Look closely at Tobey Maguire's dick.
Look, this is crazy. Man, don't y'all smoke that shit. Easy to ride. Look. Man, this is crazy, man. I'm telling you. Just fighting in traffic, bruh. Look. He needs somebody to spar with. I go spar with this. Look, this is crazy. He tired now.
Do you wanna take a life? Do you wanna cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
Nerdrotic.com.
It's all you. It's all you. What's up, everybody? It's noon somewhere, isn't it? It's 3:38 p.m. Central Time here in the beautiful free state of Texas, where none of this, well, I'm sure there's some monkeypox stuff going on here. Let's be real. There's Austin. But, hey, life is pretty normal here. I love people taking shots at the state. I saw one of my friends taking shots at the state. I guess Abbott failed at infrastructure. There is more construction going on here in this state than I've ever seen happen at one time in California, ever. Probably because everybody's moving here who's not moving to Florida. I saw that San Antone made the top 10 for cities that people are going to. Don't come here. It's terrible. It's awful. Weed's illegal, Californians. You don't want to be here. You get arrested for the marijuana. I think it's decriminalized, actually, but I just want to make them think that so they won't come here. Yeah. Wow. There's a lot to talk about. I'm a little tired today, too. I was up late watching like a lot of bad stuff. Like some stuff that started out good, but it's so yeah, I'm going to talk about Prey. I'm not going to talk about it a lot because I just don't think it warrants it at all. And all the talk about it, I think, is I think there's a lot of starving man in the desert, the Eddie Murphy Ritz cracker thing going on. So I'll just start out by saying this. There's one Matrix movie. There's 2 Terminator films. And there's one Predator movie. If you want to put in Predator 2, fine. But there's one Predator movie. Still. I saw first couple episodes of Sandman. I'll talk about that. And of course, we'll talk about the Rings of Power, the She-Hulk debacle, and the woke reckoning. That is Batgirl getting canceled, a lot of stuff getting canceled, but there's an article that we're going to go over. I think it all hinges on this with Zaslav. One name, one person, and I know you can guess who it is. It's my favorite. No, he's not. But the answer will be, if they stay with this person, nothing's going to change. If they just quietly get rid of this person, then things are going to change. Jar Jar Abrams. So we'll talk about that as well. There was a good long article talking about that in, I can't remember, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline. One of the 3. I've got it bookmarked. Let's see who's here. I don't even know what that means. Oh, you were 7. Okay, yeah. I mean, yes. She's hot. Erin Gray, Olivia Newton-John. Totally agree. What's up? How's it going? Jay Cha-Cha. I saw Nerd Cookies, but then her name just shot like right up the chat. Holy shit. So I'll just say hi, Nerd Cookies. How are you? I see you. I see you in there. CJ Williams, what's up? Bob Gable, Grand Wazoo 42, PD Choose DW, Day Davies. Did I get that right? Zach Price, Domino's Dude, Ass Chabs. I want to know where Scrody McBoogerballs is. I'm glad I was able to say that in one cut without because I had already laughed too much to that video. Garrett had to cut like a lot of it down because I was just pissing myself watching those freaking memes, those Lord of the Rings memes, which I'll probably watch again today right here because they're so good. Lofty came up with Lofty, who's still Lofty's a contrarian. He's just a contrarian, and but he did put up a pretty damn good video yesterday that we will watch. The memes are glorious. Everything's glorious about it, except the show. The show's going to be shit. But to answer anybody's questions about, we're just not liking it for my diversity. I'll start out with this. I'm pretty sure I've made it clear in the, God, how many videos have I made? 20-something videos over the last 3 years on Lord of the Rings. Maybe it's 25 over 3 years. 3 years. Okay. I only make 5 videos a month. So the reason it is woke as a broad and general term, the reason it is destroying the lore is for intersectionalism. End of story. It was the basis of all of their creative decisions with the show. Why take Tar Miriel and bend her timeline back to prior to the forging of the Rings of Power so she could fight with Galadriel. This is like almost 2,000 years apart. You bring a woman who was an heir to the throne, but never really took the scepter. Okay. It was usurped. It was usurped. There were queens of Numenor. There was one about 56 years after the forging of the Rings of Power, but you're taking Miriel 2,000 years away and pairing her with Galadriel and putting Galadriel in situations she was never in when you don't need to. What was the motivation behind that? Because we want more women in Tolkien when they're already there. So you're coming at it with your Cliff Notes knowledge, and you paid, I'm talking you, Amazon. By the way, I should have started this when my channel is under attack, because it is. They came after my video. It's not working, by the way. So where was I? Amazon, you paid what? $500 million, $1 billion, whatever. When all is said and done, it's going to be $1 billion. $58 million an episode on this season. And you didn't even bother to research things or do things the right way. Like maybe just make a show on the fall of Numenor, or just make a show on the Last Alliance, or just make a show on the forging of the Rings of Power. But they're going to do all three in 5 seasons. First season, none of this shit happens. So all 3 of those things are happening in the last 4. They're not happening in this season. And everything, and well, not everything. A lot of what happens in this season is, well, you're going to recognize a place and a name and maybe event, but that event will be nowhere near where that event was supposed to be. These people were never supposed to meet. And the reason they're doing it all is for intersectionalism. All of the dudes will be fucking morons, or they will be put into the background. Like Gil-galad should be a major fucking player. He's in 3.5 episodes for a total of, I was told this, by the way, 15 minutes. I might be going a little high on that. In the entire season, Gil-galad. But we're going to be following around Don Lemon and Little House on the Patriarchy for long periods of time. And the reason they're doing this is for intersectionalism. So yes, it is modernisms invading and destroying Tolkien instead of just making a timeless story. When they came out and said that was just a lie. It's just a lie. They keep lying to fandom. People go, that's just marketing. You know, maybe that time needs to end. You want to talk about things that need to end besides female empowerment stories, because quite frankly, they're just played out. Maybe lying to your audience is just not something that's going to work in the 21st century anymore. It's not working for mainstream media. It's not working for the access media. We had one clown today come out and he saw one episode of House of the Dragon and like, hey, maybe the episode's good. We'll find out. But he said it's the best fantasy series ever. It's better than Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. Now, a lot is better than Game of Thrones because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And Game of Thrones was shit. It was shit. Game of Thrones was shit. 3.5 good seasons, excellent seasons, great seasons, followed by a bunch of shit. And it's all how you end. I'd never want to watch it again. And still, House of the Dragon is tracking better than Rings of Power. And for all I know, it's going to be better. I certainly say I like some of the casting better than I like it in Rings of Power, as far as the source material is concerned. And I listened to a podcast yesterday with Patty Constantine and Matt Smith. And you know what wasn't mentioned at all in that entire podcast? It was like I was in 2014. Identity politics. I'm sure they're in it, but they didn't mention it in the podcast. They just talked about their characters and their motivation And it was nice. It was nice to listen to. I was only going to listen to a couple minutes of it, listen to the whole damn thing. I was like, wow, that was pretty good. Like Matt Smith. He's also one of my favorite doctors, but I digress. So the Rings of Power is what they're going to do is ramp up the bullshit, ramp up the attacks. Maybe they'll take a page. Well, they've already taken a couple of pages from Disney Star Wars, and they will weaponize fandom by gaslighting. Oh, they already have. The access media will do that anyway, because that's the only thing they can do to get attention. And they're going to lose. They're going to lose. Like, you want to fix this? Stop making shit. I don't know. It's pretty easy. But they want to blame us for reacting, and which is just rich from the people 10 years ago, 15 years ago, wanted nothing to do with us. And I was fine with it, by the way. Didn't like any of this shit, any of this fanboy, nerdy shit. Didn't want any part of you or I. We just liked our little hobbies of muscly dudes and big-titted women fucking slaying monsters and doing all kinds of shit, and we were just perfectly happy. It was a nice little time. But then it became popular, and on came the posers, the activists, the tourists, and they poisoned the well. They did exactly what we thought they would do. I've always warned, like, I think we should stay niche. I really do. I mean, we all want to see these movies and stuff, but like, what did it cost us? You know, like, fandom's been around for decades, 100 years, 100 years, maybe a little longer. And it's decimated right now. And we're fighting with each other. And it's stupid. See, this used to be a place where, you know, you can have your Conans, you can have your Lord of the Rings, you can have your superhero comics, and you can have your Vertigo titles, your Sandman titles, which I always thought were a little pixie and fairy dust, but they had their place. People liked it. It's fine. And we all existed together. Now, the industry has been taken over by the Alternative Press Expo, who always hated superheroes, always hated, I mean, they're all, insert here, studies graduates who think in their collectivist utopian society, they'll be able to blog and write their stick figure lesbian comics, which they won't. They'll be given a fucking shovel and told where to live. So that's what's invaded our fandoms. People who've always hated us and still hate us. They just give us lip service. Remember that Star Trek musical, We're Nerds? One of the most cringe things ever. Of course, it comes from fucking a bad reboot, Refugee. Incidentally, something happened in Prey that happened in Star Trek Discovery. I'm sure the people who watched both, which are probably 5 people outside of me, caught it. Remember when the dude was mansplaining Michael Burnham and then got hit by a meteor? Well, there was a guy mansplaining our little squaw, and he got eaten by a tiger. I laughed my ass off at that. I'm like, here it's coming. Here it comes. 4, 3, 2, tiger. Oh my God. I just laughed. Like, that's what you get. Hey, I can see the gifted memberships now. Kind of. Hang on. I got lights. I got to really fix this lighting here. If I can even say this name, Incognitus Jones. Hey, I said it. Welcome to the memberships. Appreciate it. Draco, what's up, buddy? Thank you for gifting, or thank you for being a member for 33 months. I can't read that far. Sorry. Gandalf. He's at the Gandalf level, by the way. Yeah, we will be changing Gelogia to the Fellowship. I just don't know when, but we will. Buford T. Justice for $49.99 says, look, I got another milestone thingy. It reminds me of that girl who did the thing with that other girl that was also so special in the Rings of Power. I was stunned how brave it was. We'll miss you in Vegas. Roll on, Fellowship. Yeah, I'll miss you too, Draco. Vegas is going to be lit. 17th, 6 p.m., Millennium Fandom Bar. We got the whole place. I'll pin it on my tweets and I'll put it in the community section. Just got to RSVP. It's totally free. First couple of rounds are on me. Okay. On me. I don't even drink. What's up, Orville Nation? Thank you for the mic drop there for $5. Yeah, so we are angry, justifiably so. We've got fans coming after us, simping for corporations because they're afraid that like we're destroying the fandom. And I just think, you know, everybody's allowed to have their criticism. I think some are smart enough to know what they're mad about, but not quite smart enough to know why and know how to like explain it. So I'll explain it for them. They are mad. Like I just said, they are afraid that we are destroying it. We are not destroying it. We are simply a reaction to what has been done. We don't write this garbage. We don't produce this garbage. There's no way for us to gatekeep any of this garbage because we don't own it. The only thing we own is our voice and we use it. And if it connects with people, great. If you're not connecting with people, I'm talking specifically with content creators, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Not everything connects with over here, and it's not supposed to be because we're human, right? There's some people out there who like Prey. Great. I'm happy for you. I didn't. I thought it was a TV movie. But if you like it, cool. That's fine. God, I'm so glad that Jackson and the Lord of the Rings movies aren't connected to the rings of wokeness. Man, what a relief. At least those won't be destroyed. This is true. This is good news. This is excellent news because Amazon cannot connect it to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings because Warner Brothers still owns it. And that is something that's going to come up later. Because Amazon, I don't know if the Saul Zaentz rights have sold yet. I don't know. I know what rights Amazon has, and I know what rights Warner Brothers still has, legitimately still has. They're still making great toys, by the way, at Osmus. That is licensed from Warner Brothers. And Saul Zaentz, by the way. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. I think I absolutely know that Amazon wants to remake. Well, I don't know. This is just, I don't have proof. I just know. Just like I know Disney Star Wars will remake the Star Wars original trilogy because like what other cards do they have to play? I know Amazon wants to make a Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. And make it as diverse as possible. And it will suck. I'm interested in tomorrow's Real BBC for the Prey discussion. I know that you and Az aren't too thrilled about it, but Mahler said it was really good, and I'm looking forward to that discussion, says Mikey Gusser for $10. I am too. Well, no problem. I will state my case, and it's not there to change opinions. It's just my case. Dermy Wormy, aka D-Day Dermot, for $5 says, I am reviewing Sandman for my channel right now, doing episode 2 tonight, so I'm going to have to dip when you start talking about it. Sure, I'm going to keep it pretty spoiler free, but I understand you don't want to have my review seep into yours. I do the same thing. I don't watch reviews until I'm done with mine. Prey, if I do one, it'll go on Nerdrotic Daily. It's not going on the main channel. I don't want to spend hours on that again. No thanks. Not even worth that. But here, let's go to Rings of Power article, and then we're going to go to a very interesting article about Zaslav, I think. My book. I don't have 72 tabs, but I do have the most ridiculously long bookmark file that I probably should have broken into years or something, but it's it's every bookmark since 2019. So I've already hit it. I've got my cursor on it. It's scrolling down. It takes a minute or two to get to the bottom. So I'm just going to talk over it. Say hi to the chat. Hi, chat. How you doing? It's still going. There, it stopped. Okay. That's good. There we go. Happy accidents, pretty trees. Oh, it's Disa, the first female dwarf of color. Oh my God, I can't believe she said that. I felt like I won the lottery when that happened. I'm like, oh yes. Now we just need people to say Hobbit of color and Elf of color, and my life will be complete. My life will be complete. All right, so Rings of Power Star explains what to expect from new Lord of the Rings series. New characters, improved representation, and a focus on lesser-known Tolkien works shape big budget series. Well, okay, I will argue that the entire Second Age is a lesser-known Tolkien work outside of what is referenced in Lord of the Rings directly in the story. But we know Galadriel, and she's not going to be in it. And none of this is actually a work of Tolkien. It is largely fabricated. Like it or not, Hollywood is going back to the world of dwarves, magic, hobbits. Nope, Harfoots, get it right, and Middle Earth. Amazon Studios' upcoming Lord of the Rings series, Rings of Power, which, I mean, I've mentioned it before, so have others. Having rings in your title twice is dumb. That reeks of a corporate decision. Revisits the seminal work of fantasy literature after director Peter Jackson first adapted the writer, blah, 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 blah. This time, a new creative team, is looking deeper into Tolkien's lore and completely ignoring it to tell a story many fans may not be familiar with. Well, because nobody's ever heard it before. Here's everything we know about the new series so far, including hints the cast gave to CBC. What's a CBC? Is that like a BBC but Canada? That's right. So it's like state-sponsored shit. Okay. It's kind of like our NPR. On what to expect. First look at Tolkien's Second Age. While previous adaptations have looked mostly at Lord of the Rings Third Age, completely outside of an epilogue, Rings of Power goes thousands of years earlier to the Second Age. That period, which itself spans about 3,500 years, includes a huge amount of backstory that they ignore and leads directly to the main trilogy that this isn't a part of. The story of Numenor, the ancient kingdom of men who would eventually come to Middle Earth, the rise and fall of the major villain Sauron, hot Sauron, and of course, the forging of the 20 Rings of Power. I remember when OneRing.net said there was 19. Looking back at the history gives the Rings of Power the opportunity. Everybody fucks up, by the way. That's fine. Opportunity to expand some lesser known characters who influence the movie's audience are more familiar with. That includes Isildur, the character most famous for refusing to destroy the ring when he had the chance at the beginning of the first installment of the Fellowship of the Ring. Isildur will be played by Maxim Baldry. There he is right there. In the Amazon Prime Edition, a responsibility he called nerve-wracking. I bet it is. And it's It's not fair. It's almost not fair. See, actors just take jobs. And sometimes they don't know what they're stepping into with fandoms. So it's very easy, again, to blame the paying customer. But I would challenge, and this is a big challenge for some adult pretenders, to maybe think a little bit before you open your mouth, especially when it's not words that are written for you. And to think about, like, well, who really put you in that situation? Was it the fandom? Or was it a giant $1 trillion corporation that wants their cake and that fandom money to eat it too, and for the fandom to shut the fuck up, which they won't do, which they just won't. Like, that will never happen. Amazon will go out of business before fandom shuts up. And good. So somebody is going to learn the lesson from Sonic and other things that maybe, just maybe, don't come out against the fandom. Compromises can be made. Changes can be made. I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I doubt J.R.R. Tolkien would have. I've said that before. I'm not that hard on it. These changes, though, are pure fabrications. They're ridiculous changes. And again, we can all sniff why you made them. And it was not for a creative work. It was not a creative decision. It was not to make the story better. And this is what happens when you have this shift to streaming and television. Everything is producer driven now. Producer is much more marketer than creative. A young sailor. Isildur's a sailor. The sailor man now. Numenor, that's Isildur, dreams of becoming a ship's captain and exploring what? Leaves a little bit of a path of destruction where he goes. So he's going to be a dipshit, and he's going to have this amazing made-up sister who's just going to be the bestest ever. Another established character brought from the main trilogies, Elendil, played by Lloyd Owen, who, I mean, looks fine. You know, Isildur kind of looks like a stoner, but that's fine. Then we get down to non-canon editions. Let's get to here. And honestly, I don't know what's worse. What they're going to do to the canon characters and their interactions with these new editions. We saw a little piece of the dialogue in my video, and it was atrocious. By the way, I had to recut the video because I thought it was an inner monologue. I thought like Galadriel was talking to herself in her head at first. And then I'm like, oh, whoa, her lips are barely moving. She's speaking that. And maybe it was the clip, but it was horrible dubbing. Horrible dubbing. I thought I was watching like a foreign film. Non-canon editions. As Owen said, The Rings of Power draws from Tolkien's least fleshed out history. It's probably why it was chosen. While Amazon Prime has the rights to use information from the Lord of the Rings appendices, extensive but not story-focused add-ons to the novels, so-called the Legendarium. They do not have access to other books Tolkien wrote that cover the same period. As a workaround, showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay introduced a number of new characters who don't conflict with the canon of The Lord of the Rings, but help to prop up some lacking narrative. That is such utter bullshit. You could just go to one point in time in the Second Age and pluck. Certainly, you're going to have to make up some characters, but but you're leaving out some pretty big ones that I've pointed out in my videos, like 2 in particular, not even mentioned, to make way for female Frodo and female Sam. I mean, can it get any fucking more on the nose? Look, there's the rascally Baggins who yearns for adventure. And there's the steady rock friend. Indentured servant. No, he's not, but he does call him master. This is so fucking bad reboot. And I know it's not officially a bad reboot production, but it is by proxy. I mean, like Lindsay Weber, J.D. Payne, Patrick McKay, Star Trek Discovery writers, Westworld writers. There's a bunch. Jar Jar Abrams is not creative, but he's not dumb. He has seeded his people everywhere. Fucking everywhere. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that. And in his wake, he leaves a path of destruction. By the way, Prey, bad reboot, disciple. I'm doing my best, Joe Biden. Come on, man. I mean, the other side, okay, there's slightly less. Oh, what? There's I got way ahead of myself. One of those additions is Emma Horvath's Arian, daughter of Elendil. Okay, yeah, she's completely made up. Horvath said the character brings a new female energy to Tolkien because it didn't have any female energy. There really needs to be like a comedy, like just clowning female empowerment now. Somebody needs to make it happen. And just call it Mary Sue. I mean, it'd be just call it Mary Sue. Or the death of Mary Sue. To the family that wouldn't otherwise exist. She also said the experience of bringing an invented character to the Lord of the Rings world is altogether different than what her canonical castmates are going through. So you're saying that them creating an original character is different than using a canonical character? Actors. These are just brilliant, brilliant people. There's slightly less pressure because you're not playing someone who the readers have constructed in their minds yet. Sweetheart, outside of 3 or 4 characters in this show, nobody has a construction of these characters. And it's going to be horrible. It's going to be terrible. Because this is precisely what Tolkien didn't want. There is multiple quotes backing up the fact that he hated his work edited and he hated his language changed in particular and plots and situations. I have, again, put those quotes, and many people, you can find them on Bounding Into Comics. You can find them in my videos. Disbrew has brought them up. There's a lot of comments. The one they keep going to, other hands, other minds, is a pure hypothetical about something he never did. I mean, the other side of that is wanting desperately to be accepted by fans. Well, I mean, I can't get, she's just an actress. She doesn't know better. Some of the other new characters include Poppy Proudfellow. God, that sounds like Tolkien fan fiction name, doesn't it? Because it is. Played by Megan Richards and Eleanor Norrie. Brandyfoot, played by Markella Kavanaugh. Richards describes her as female Sam. Oh, sorry. Witty, sarcastic, and fun hobbit who is also incredibly cautious which comes from her past, which you get to learn throughout the series. Probably a past of abuse by her father, who's absentee, and it's only going to be her mother. For her part, Kavanaugh described Nori as resolute, curious, inquisitive, hobbit. Oh, she said hobbit. Warner Brothers going to sue. With a tendency to get others in trouble, there'd be times I'd be reading the scripts and go, at least don't drag other people into other beings into your mess. It's got a big budget. It's really expensive. $58 million an episode. And that's on the low end. That's on the low end. In a Hollywood Reporter roundtable last year, Amazon Studios chief Jennifer Salk explained they would need a global audience to make the show profitable. It's a tall order, though. Salk said Amazon is pretty confident that will happen. Well, it's been a year, Jennifer Salk. How confident you feeling now? I wouldn't be feeling too confident. But you know what has a global audience? Lord of the Rings. It already has it. That's why you paid $250,000 just to get the rights. That's before production. Because it already had it. Your audience will be dwarfed by the amount of people who have already read The Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion, Hobbit, Unfinished Tales, have seen the Peter Jackson trilogy, who have enjoyed, and I'm talking enjoyed, The Hobbit. It will be dwarfed. For lack of a better term. It'll be first black female dwarfed. I got to go back up. The huge price tag speaks to a hunger for big name properties from streamers competing in an increasingly crowded field, and a confidence by Amazon that people are still interested in more from Tolkien's world. They are. There's no doubt about that. We are hitting the 20-year rule with Peter Jackson's original trilogy, Lord of the Rings, and as trends dictate, that is generally the time when something that was especially that beloved, that especially a cultural moment that was, will be looked back on fondly by the youngins of the time who now have disposable income to buy some of the stuff that they couldn't before and want to relive the experience. It's been going on for ages with a lot of things. But you fucked up your one opportunity. The one good thing out of this is the book sales. I'm sure a ton of people, I see it all over the place. I get emails like, I'm reading the books now. That's, fucking Jeremy is even going to listen to the audiobook. I mean, he can't read. He's from Alabama. But I'm kidding. He can kind of read. But no, he's listening to the audiobook, and that's great. That's fucking awesome. I am so happy about that. And I recommend you do it too. Going on a drive, go listen to the BBC radio show, the audiobook. It's fucking great. It's great. I got a used bookstore near my house. Been hitting that up. And all their Tolkien stuff is sold out now. It's sold out now. So that's good. Go to a used bookstore, support a local small business. Highly recommend it. If you can't find Tolkien, get some Conan. It's good. Oh, okay. Is there anything up here? They build a bunch of sets. An updated old world. Oh, no. I did not see that. Oh. I hate Hollywood. I hate the access media. I hate what they have become. This is a place I used to love. I hate what's happening to our language. Recessions don't mean recessions. We're updating old worlds. And we have dwarves of color. The morons have taken over. May their reign end soon. Very, very soon. I'm trying to capture that audience. Rings of Power is attempting to capture that audience. Rings of Power is attempting to address some of the criticism previously hurled at the franchise. Okay, so they are talking about the academics who would attack Lord of the Rings over the last 20 years about calling it white. Back 10 years ago, you know, when these articles came up, you know what people would do? Shut the fuck up. And I mean people, not just white dudes or white girls, or I mean people. Every single one, to a man and woman, would say, shut the fuck up. Critics often took the Peter Jackson adaptations to task for a lack of diversity in both gender and race, something casting has already pushed back against this time around. So you're going to improve on not only Tolkien, Peter Jackson. Okay. It might have something to do with their diversity and inclusion initiative from a year ago, which I have bookmarked, and we can read it in a little bit. It's CRT. It's critical race theory. So in the guise of diversity and inclusivity, you are now literally keeping people out, and it's not just white people. You're saying something very specific for a role, which counts out Asians, Persians, Latinos. And then when is it going to get so nuts to where we're going to start breaking it down by region? It's you know, I'm a firm believer in best person for the job. And if that ends up being somebody diverse, great. Awesome. They're the best person for the job. But nobody believes that now. Not even the people who get these jobs, which has to feel fucked up. Oh, by the way, I know it feels fucked up because people have told me. Something they pushed back on. You own the show. What are you pushing back on? These are your edicts. The amount of people who are actually bitching about this is minute. And that's who you're making the show for. And I don't hate to report this to you at all. It's not going to be enough. And you're committed to 5 years. So this will be fucking funny. This is going to be fucking funny. By the way, 5 seasons, not 5 years. It's going to take them a lot longer than 5 years to make this show. We're already going to be waiting 2 years for season 2. Because they're building a brand new set. They moved out of New Zealand because of their insane COOF restrictions. That's my speculation. And the tax credits weren't worth it. So they went to the UK. Built a huge studio. Now, would it surprise me to hear that they canned everybody after season 1? We'll see. And nothing would surprise me right now. Not after Batgirl. That surprised me. It did. After the cast list was first announced, and some fans expressed outrage over a more gender-balanced cast than previously seen, the creative team pushed back. So they admit that they went after the fans. Okay. It felt only natural for us to that an adaptation of Tolkien's work would reflect the world, what the world actually looks like, executive producer Lindsay Weber told Vanity Fair in February. Tolkien is for everyone. It certainly is, and always has been. You just told on yourself. His stories are about fictional races doing their best work when they leave the isolation of their own cultures and come together. That's the third age. And it's only when they're absolutely pushed to it, by the way. Like when it's the end. When asked whether the show's plot would have women front and center, Richards put it blunt response. Well, we're here. And I think that says it all. So you're making a female-centric Tolkien instead of a egalitarian Tolkien. You've just come out and essentially said you're making a female-centric Tolkien. How did that work for Star Trek? How did that work for Star Trek? I'll show you how it fucking worked for Star Trek. Give me a moment. I'm starting to tweet like a 14-year-old girl. I need to stop. I was having too much fun yesterday, though. Still scrolling down through my 14-year-old girl tweets. Ah, there it is. Uh-oh. They have the biggest movie of the year. Runaway hit, Top Gun. Great movie. Great movie. But they also have 5 years of really shitty start. Yes, it's been 5 years since the start of production of Star Trek 2017. Actually, it might be a little longer than that. It's been 5 years. Paramount Global predicts streaming loss of $1.8 billion in 2022 defense cost content spending. Same thing's coming for you, Amazon. I know you can shoulder it, but here's the deal. Amazon cancels shows all the time, and good ones. The Tick was a damn good show. The Tick was a damn good show. And they axed it. They axed The Expanse. The Expanse could have gone on. They axed it. Why? Because nobody was watching it. People were watching it. It would have gone on. Oh, wow. I didn't think this would be this bad. Another change. Again, I was just going to kick back for a couple days. I'm going to try to get a couple of videos in the can before Vegas. I'm definitely going to be working. Oh, by the way, Perry, if you're out there and Quarter Black, bring your computers. It will be a working vacation because we have She-Hulk coming out and then House of the Dragon. Although you'll be able to do that one from home. I will be doing a live review after the House of the Dragon airs from Las Vegas Sunday night. I think Shadversity will be joining me. Shadversity. Maybe Mahler too. If we're still friends after we argue about Prey. No, of course we're still going to be friends. He hates the Snyder Cut. I like it. Another change is Sophia Nomvedi, who plays Disa, a dwarven princess. Though the character was created for the series, the show has her married to Prince Durin IV, played by Owen Arthur, who did appear in Tolkien's appendices in a family tree, I believe. Nomvedi's portrayal makes her both the first woman and the first Black actor to play a dwarf in a Tolkien adaptation. I'm glad they're putting that in there. Well, that's not true. We know that's not true. There are female dwarves in The Hobbit. You can see them all over the place. There's Black women in The Hobbit, but they're humans. It means absolutely everything to keep running with this false narrative, Nomvedi said, of her role in bringing representation. If they're telling her this, by the way, that's incredibly mean to let her go out there and make a fucking fool out of herself. Somebody needs to tell her to stop saying that. But you know what? God, I gotta start getting some red flags and just fucking waving them around, because some people like, you just don't like the diversity. No. The fact that they can't get the little details right tells me that the rest of the story is going to suck. It's like that meme that I put up when somebody crouched over a plate about to drop a deuce on it, and you're like, hey, why are you about to shit on my plate? And then the person about the shit goes, how do you know it's going to be shit? It's not out yet. Oh, wait, we're not done. Everyone was a cast because they were the absolute best person for the role. Not true. They were very specific with skin color in their casting calls. So that is not true. It was the best person of that skin color for the role, maybe, you know. And to be a part of a redress of balance within the world is an honor. A balance of what? A balance of what exactly? Percentages? The world isn't balanced. I saw an article from Bounding into Comic. I thought it was a joke. It's not. An Amazon-backed company is asking for more representation in Bollywood. In fucking Bollywood. I hope Bollywood extends their middle fingers and tells them to fuck off. I'm waiting for them to. I'm waiting to hear that for manga and anime too, and Korean movies, Chinese movies. We'll see how that works out over there. Ooh, man, that was a doozy. I didn't think that article would be that much of a doozy, but considering it's coming from state-run media. Oh, by the way, I know I'm a little late on this news. James Franco is going to be playing Justin Trudeau's dad in a movie. So congratulations. Congratulations. We'll get to you in just a moment, but I need to make an announcement. It's a huge announcement too, and it's not we'll do the meetup in just a moment, but give me just a second here. There we go. This is for immediate release. Ryan Kinnell has been appointed the first Friday Night Tights Diversity and Inclusion Officer, and I just want to congratulate him. Look at how happy he is. Little son of a gun. Look at that. Thank you, Ryan. He actually has previous experience. I wish I was joking about that. I'm joking about I wouldn't make him, but he's actually been a diversity and inclusion officer before. Life is funny. William Owens for $10. Hail, Gary. Any theories on what will happen to all the money Amazon spent on the Rings of Power? Why is it all cut off? It looks too awful to be the most expensive show in the world. A lot of that money went to pay for the rights, and it obviously did not go into the look. The look. It looks, I mean, just compare those trailers to House of the Dragons and now House of the Dragon. Now forget everything else and just look at them. And House of the Dragon cost $20 million less per episode, and it looks 1,000 times better. Not saying it's going to be good. I'm just saying it looks better. The armor looks better. The cinematography looks better. The sets look better. Everything. And the fact that something from George R. Martin is going to do better than something that is quote unquote from Tolkien, I mean, kind of makes me a little sick. But I mean, I like them both, but like that shows how much Amazon's fucking up. And you know, those winds of change are blowing. What is the most popular movie of the year thus far? It's Top Gun Maverick. What is the most watched show of? Okay, we'll say the first two. Stranger Things. Terminal List. Stranger Things. Terminal List. And Stranger Things, while it had its moments, wasn't like bogged down with agenda. It was in previous seasons, and it got away from that, and it was a huge benefit. But the fact that Terminal List was watched by that many people, so according to Amazon, is crazy. Because I liked it, but I saw it as more niche, but I guess not. Thank you, Pirate Tomsky, for gifting 5 Nerdrotic memberships. I appreciate that. Damikazi for $5 asks, curious, what is your take? Is it valid criticism, Waititi, on not knowing who Hercules was before Love and Thunder? Herc is C tier at best. If it was his first movie, I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's his second movie. And after watching his second movie, it was very clear that he had a lot of guidance in the first one. They let him do what he wanted in the second, did do what he wants in the second one, and it sucked. It was a major disappointment. Thor is just hitting 700 million, just crawling past it. That's about 150 million less than Ragnarok. And my good friend Ryan pointed out correctly in an article that was from Inside the Magic that stated it's watched by 30% less people. Ticket prices are higher. So they are selling higher price tickets to fewer people. It's the Comic-Con. It's the comic book method. We're going to just pad cost with higher priced comic books, and they can't do variants for movies, but if they could, they would. Poopa Chalupa for $5 says, it would be more interesting if they'd kill off the human characters each season and introduce new ones actually span thousands of years. It would. It would. The problem is you have like 2 very, very, very inexperienced writers on this, and it shows. It like shows. What I was told by the person, by the way, somebody came at me on Twitter, and that's fine. They don't know. I don't expect everybody to watch all my videos. But I generally know what happens in the series. And according to the person who I'm getting the information from, Galadriel is insufferable, like unlikable throughout the whole thing. David, welcome to the radicalized level. GBuzz C739, welcome to the radicalized level. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get to this. Damn, that article was totally video worthy. Oh, shit. It's going to be a couple days, though. Got to let the other one breathe a little bit. I saw Quartering talk about YouTube Shorts, and I just could not agree with them more. It's fine if they exist, but can we remove them from our timeline if we so choose? Because I am not a fan. I don't like TikTok. This is YouTube. Be YouTube. They tried stories. That didn't work. God, Susan's such a dumbass. She is such a dumbass. I'm waiting for my bookmarks to scroll down. Sorry. Still, I should have music for this. I should actually show it to you. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. It's still going. And I've got a portrait screen up. So it's going the full length of the portrait screen. It takes like 2 minutes. But again, it's every link that I've bookmarked out since 2019. Oh, fuck me. I didn't save it there. Are you kidding me? I thought I saved it. There it is right there. Okay. All right. We'll get back to Rings of Power in just a moment. But let's go to its Deadline. Let's go to Deadline. Let's talk about the Zaslav, the guy that has got like a lot of hope. A lot of hope. Like people are getting really excited. I'm going to wait and see. I think this isn't based on anything other than my speculation. I think it's going to be really, really difficult to remove the wokeness, the far leftist ideological wokeness that has completely infected our culture. Remember AOL? Remember when you installed AOL into your little Hewlett-Packard computer back in 94 and you tried to uninstall it and it's just like it spunked everywhere? That's what woke is in Hollywood. It spunk, it spewed. You got to get the black light out, man. And yeah, just to borrow a quote from Guardians of the Galaxy, it's going to look like a Jackson Pollock painting. It's spewed everywhere. Okay, so this is Deadline. Now, I found this article because, I forgot his name now. One of the dipshits, not the main, not Rich Johnston from Bleeding Cool, the other dipshit, the one who tried to get John Pertwee canceled. Yes, the very dead John Pertwee, for a video that was hilarious, an old corporate video where he asked a woman to show him her tits. God dang, I forgot about that video. It's so funny. But I digress. So this doofus writes an article saying that the Black Constantine show is totally safe. And he based it on this article, and it's not what they said at all. It's not what they said at all. But it goes way more into Hamada and battery. Hamada's gone, dude. Hamada's gone. That's just my opinion. Unless he does some really good groveling, that guy's gone. But this is going to be weird because a lot of people say Zaslav just likes the Discovery content, the reality content, and quite frankly, the reality TV, although it's been around forever, it really blew up during the last recession because there was a writer's strike and it was cheap. So we're going to have kind of a similar situation here. But money talks. The Dish amid layoffs. How did Zaslav, how David Zaslav might deal with Jar Jar Abrams' bad reboot, DC's Walter Hamada, and new Warner Brothers Pictures chief Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi. Okay, I don't care about the other people. I know the Snyder Cut fans like, Hamada, get him out of there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, here we go. If there was one thing that the turbulent week at Warner Brothers Discovery played, it's just how quickly conventional wisdom can change from one regime to the next, when each is trying to gin up the stock price for Wall Street. That's part of the problem, too. Warner Brothers Discovery chief David Zaslav was busy. On the eve of rumored layoff bloodbath across the company, cut at least $3 billion of debt off the books. There was the abrupt and cruel cancellation of Batgirl and the HBO Max animated feature Scoob, which the latter message delivered while the co-directors were in Morocco as one of them was getting married. Yes, a deal. Getting married. So, I mean, bottom line, and I'm sure Zaslav said this, Batgirl should have never gotten this far. They should have never spent a penny on it. Well, it's Kevin Smith says it's a bad look to cancel a Latina Batgirl. So you're going to go ahead with something that will automatically lose you money because it's a bad look. Well, quite frankly, studios have been doing that and they can't afford it anymore. You got what you wanted. There's an adult in the White House now. He was going to fix the country. Oh, but now the economy sucks and you're finding out that woke is a luxury that we could never afford. Never. Told you this day was coming. Told you this fucking day was coming. There's been a lot of people on YouTube, some longer than me. I've told you this day is coming. Weren't really sure how or when. One thing I could be confident is it wouldn't be Disney, but this day was going to come, and it's here. And it's here. And that's why the access media is all clutching their pearls and all worried about stuff. You should be, because you're going to have to fucking work for your money now. And even then, that piece of the pie you had will be smaller because there's a lot more competition. There's also rampant speculation that there may be further trims of HBO Max development slate of Jar Jar Abrams' bad reboot after Abrams' big ticket series, how in the fuck I would probably just cancel it based on the fucking name. Demi Monde? I don't even care. Was scrapped in one of the new regime's first moves. It's clear that current DC Films head writer Walter Hamada is hanging on by a spider's web. Sorry, wrong superhero franchise. As Zaslav enlisted former Disney chief Alan Horn to try and find a Kevin Feige to replace the success that the Marvel superhero factory had at the studio. Well, I mean, I know Zaslav's tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Zazzy. We're like this. You're not going to find another Kevin Feige because Kevin Feige took all the credit, but didn't really start the MCU. He was there. He was part of it. Did a decent job cultivating it and moving it from Paramount to Disney. Then he usurped power and turned it into shit. So you're not, I mean, like, and you're just not going to find one. You're not. And I don't think anybody's going to want to like work for a company that's so knee jerk. All this is evidence of how serious Zaslav is turning things around. Wall Street was less than impressed. Well, they're going to be less than impressed. And honestly, you got to do what you got to do. With the stock price dropping 16% after Zaz delivered a weak short-term forecast and promised to get under the hood and overhaul. Well, you can't lie like Disney does. Here's what's fascinating to anyone who has watched the studio since the acquisition by AT&T, when John Stanky, Jason Kilar, and Ann Sarnoff, fucking good riddance, bitch, Bob Greenblatt and Toby Emmerich, good riddance, punk, were all going to make Warner Media a worthy rival to the streaming juggernauts Netflix and Disney by leaning in and creating more HBO content. None of those people hold those positions anymore, as AT&T bolted after discovering how incompatible the high cost of content creation was to the high debt load. Today's grand solution is tomorrow's misfire that needs to be repaired. And it's the same for other companies. The only one that can shoulder all this shit is Amazon. Scrapping a Batgirl and Scoob was triggered by purchase accounting loophole that created more favorable financials and killing 2 completed movies Zaslav didn't really care about or like. The dish was heard that participants, blah, 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 don't care about Scoob. I want to get the Jar Jar. They talk about, letting Nolan go, which was stupid, pissing off Nolan, and he's gone. That was dumb. That was the fucking dumb move. That was Sarnoff. That was Emmerich. That was Jason Kilar. Yeah, I would have just given him whatever he wanted. It's fucking Nolan, dude. Aside from the fact that Paramount waited to release Top Gun Maverick until the pandemic passed, which pretty smart move. Yeah. And was rewarded by the 1.3 billion gross, while most of the WB state was quickly forgotten. What is troubling about the Kilar move was that there was all the tub thumping he did about increasing HBO Max monthly subscriber fees. Zaslav just made it clear that the original feature content for the streaming service isn't his priority. There you go. Well, that's thanks to you and me, by the way. Congratulate yourself for bailing out movie theaters. We are, by the way, that we aren't out of the fucking woods with movie theaters yet. There ain't anything coming out till Avatar. I think the Dragon Ball Z movie that's coming out in a couple weeks will probably be the biggest fucking hit until Avatar. That's what my kid thinks. And I don't think he's wrong. Oh, Black Adam's coming out at 400 million worldwide, 500 million worldwide, maybe. I just don't think that's going to light the world on fire. I could be wrong. Okay, so blah, 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 Paramount, AT&T, whatever. I want to get to this. Rev up Jar Jar Abrams and his bad reboot slate. Ever since HBO axed Abrams' ambitions, by the way, Jar Jar Abrams, destroyer of franchises, destroyed Star Trek, destroyed Star Wars, then sent his people to further destroy Star Trek. His people, his disciples made that trash Watchmen series. His disciples, fucking Westworld. I know everybody's like, I was so manufactured what I saw yesterday on oh my God, Westworld. Oh my God, Westworld. You know what they did? They spent the entire season fixing their fuck ups from the last 2 seasons. And everybody thinks it's just genius. It's like, oh, you made the Man in Black badass again. Wow, that was genius. Why did you fucking destroy him in the first place? I might talk about it. I've actually watched every episode. Nobody else has. The overnight ratings are in the 300,000, so that's a low CW show now. But they're filming season 5, so they got a season 5. It's the final season. I just say, watch the first one and don't watch anything else, and kind of leave it as a Twilight Zone ending, and it's brilliant. Where was I? Yeah, I felt a little burned by Westworld. I did. So this Demi Monday, or whatever the fuck it's called, it was going to be Jar Jar's first solo creation since Alias. In June, Hollywood had been abuzz about the merger of Warner Brothers and Discovery means for him and his bad reboot business at the combined company. Word is that Zaslav wants to trim costs on the rich deal, or at least get more output for his money. In other words, they weren't happy with this deal, and Jar Jar is very, very good at cutting corners and not doing any work. Look at fucking The Force Awakens. It's a remake of The New Hope. He's a lazy motherfucker. Creatively lazy as fuck. So he got all this money and he hasn't done shit. You know what? And that's on the people who paid him. How many of the multitude of projects that he has developed at HBO Max will see the light of day? Will he take any of his androids elsewhere? Well, Yes, he does have a bunch of NPCs working for him. Following the Demi-Monde decision, whatever the fuck is, there has been a lot of chatter that some portions of Abrams' HBO Max development slate are vulnerable. Bad reboot HBO Max rumors have been refuted by sources close to both Bad Reboot and Warner Brothers Discovery. But it's clear that the relationship with the studio, with Abrams, has been on the TV side at least, since 2006, is increasingly coming under a microscope. Warner Brothers Discovery bosses are understood to believe that the multi-million-dollar merger mega deal that Abrams signed in 2019 has been mismanaged, and there is frustration that the lost co-creator hasn't delivered anything significant on either the TV or film side since signing the pact. Nothing. Zero. Demi-Monde has been that game. Could Demi-Monde have been a game changer? Guess we'll never know because they canceled it. Warner Brothers Discovery president and CEO David Zaslav spent time with Abrams before the close of the merger earlier this year and said he's a fan. The issue is not enough of his creations have been realized. Part of this is down to timing. What, J.J. Jar Jar Abrams not finding the timing to do it? Some of it is down to money. On the feature side, Abrams is coming off a major deal at Paramount, where he launched Cloverfield, Mission Impossible, and Star Trek. The rub, he is still involved in these franchises, particularly with another Cloverfield movie in the works and a Star Trek sequel poised to start production later this year. What's the date? It's getting pretty later this year. Oh, please put that movie out. Please. It will bomb. Abrams does have a number of feature films in the works at WBD. They include a Superman film that Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing, supernatural revenge western The Pinkerton, a project based on Dr. Seuss's book, Oh, the Places You'll Go, a DC movie based on Zatanna, that Emerald Fennell writing and live action, that Emerald Fennell is writing, and a live action Hot Wheels live action movie. So it's a live action Hot Wheels live action movie. But Warner Brothers Pictures is facing some of the same issues that Paramount faced when Abrams was directing Star Wars films for Disney. In other words, he's fucking you around because he's a con artist. As for Abrams' television slate, the decision on whatever that fucking thing's called came down to budget. Bad Reboot wanted to stay firm on the Daniel Deadweiler fronted series budgeted at around $200 million. While Warner Brothers Television and HBO were looking to rein in costs, that wasn't the first time Abrams' series has been canned at the company. HBO Max opted out to proceed with the Shining spinoff Overlook, which was part of the inaugural Bad Reboot slate at the streamer late August. Yep. People are souring on him. We have I need to take a drink there. There are other question marks. Oh, we're not done. Jar Jar is excellent at announcing shit. That never happens. There's other Bad Reboot projects. Madam X. And subject to change. I'm looking for Constantine. HBO project that sources point to being as on solid ground and moving along is Constantine, who was unable to appear in Sandman. So they cast fucking Jenna Coleman as Clara Constantine, by the way. A darker reboot. Well, why'd you got to say darker? Just because they have... Wow, that was a really poorly worded. A darker reboot of the DC Comics character. Well, yeah, because it's going to... Because a black guy is playing Constantine. That's terrible. description. The project is set around a diverse lead rather than the one played by Matt Ryan. In other words, it's not going to look anything like Constantine. They got away with it once with the Keanu Reeves movie, which I kind of liked. But, okay, so sources are pointing to it being on solid ground. That's not what Bleeding Cool said is, Constantine's totally safe. Nothing's fucking safe. All this shit sounds like it's going to get shit canned. And it just sounds like Zaslav is giving Jar Jar Abrams what he has given the rest of Hollywood. Lip service. But it's up to you, Zaz. I know you're watching again. I fire this guy immediately. If you want Warner Brothers to continue, you need to just cut your losses and leave, because that $500 million you've already given them will cost you another $500 million on shit that will flop. I promise you, a Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman will be the flop heard around the world. And remember, the rumored marketing strategy was to release it during Black History Month and try to repeat the success of Black Panther. I'm not kidding. Zaslav, speaking to WBD's earnings call on Thursday, said quality is what matters. Yeah, they say this shit all the time. And in relation to HBO Max, his strategy is to embrace and support, then drive its incredible success. Okay. So it doesn't come up as like, House of the Dragon, which costs $30 million an episode. But you got to wonder. I mean, they're merging HBO Max and Discovery, which is a weird move. I think HBO Max, just call it fucking HBO. Just call it HBO. So Warner Brothers Discovery, branding does matter. HBO has a brand that is somewhat respected. That's pretty respected. I think if you change it to Warner Brothers Discovery, it just wipes that out. Oh, well, we'll find out. These are the people who like to, except for Warner Brothers. We'll give them that. But the rest of Hollywood likes to release their tentpole shit in the middle of the fucking night on streaming. So they're dumbasses. All right. Get some soups. They're dumbasses. All righty. Scrolling down. Foresta Fables. Hail, Gary. If you got time, could you check out Living Anacronyms video on good costume design for Lord of the Rings versus Rings of Power? Sure. Thank you for the 70 Zardozes. Hail, Gary. That comes from Weston 487. Been a member for 17 months. Dude, that's awesome. Have you watched the Wheel of Time show? No, I have not. Have you read the books? No, I have not. I love the books, and the Amazon totally ruined the story. Trope looks to be the same. Yeah. I did pay attention to a lot of the reviews because I just thought that was an outlier, and it was. Thank you for the 50 Swedish krona. Maybe someday. Michael Dune, thank you for the super sticker for $2. I appreciate it. J.R. Williams for $4.99. How long can Disney Marvel drag on their failed crusade of diversity before reaching insolvency and rebranding? I think they're working their way to it. I think Secret Wars is going to be an opportunity for them to hit the reset button. Now, what direction do they go? I don't know. But we watched that Captain Marvel meeting Falcon. And it was just a cheesy cruise ship video, but that's your Avengers now. It was Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Black Falcon. And if I paid thousands of dollars to go on a cruise and I saw fake Marvel characters or shitty ones or B-list ones, I'd be more than pissed. I'd be fucking more than pissed. So yeah, maybe that's why that video, isn't making the rounds. Froyo Vagins and the Fellowship of the Wee Was Kangs, says Bastard Luigi for $4.99. That's what it is, man. It is. Are we at peak woke? They them premiered. Prey premiered. All right, quick Prey reaction. I promise you this will be quick. Then I'll do a spoiler-free Sandman. I got to find the right article though, because this is pretty funny. I don't know if everybody caught the positioning of this picture. It's from Screen Rant. Jane Theory did, and that's where I found it. Yeah, I don't remember this scene. Maybe that's a special feature. It's looking very Last of Us 2 right there. Very memeable. Okay, so Prey. The first. Oh, where was it? I'm going to keep that up. Hang on. I did not mean to do that. The first 45 minutes leading up to the bears can smell the menstruation was probably the best part, where next to nothing happens. It is a young squaw girl. She doesn't want to gather. She wants to hunt. She doesn't want to do the gathering part of the hunting and gathering. She wants to defeat those gender norms in a hunter-gatherer society of the 1700s or something like that. And while I'm sure there was some little Spitfire girl who was probably good at hunting, 1 in 100, 1,000, I just didn't find it convincing because of the fucking massive plot armor this woman was wearing throughout the entire fucking movie. And to say it wasn't, you're crazy. You're crazy. Now, again, the first half is like lots of nature, talking to the dog. I like the dog. The dog was great. And the predator coming down, she called it a Thunderbird. I thought that was fine. Her brother was pretty cool. But there was definitely 2 other hunters who are like, girl hunter, fuck you, girl hunter. And like one scene that stood out to me, and like, this is a TV movie, so I'm not gonna, like, it's racked with inconsistencies. For one, if you want to see nature here in America, go on a hike. You'll see something more beautiful than this fucking movie. But they like run across scat. And one of the hunters, the trained hunters, go, "You found shit." Now, I'm not a fucking hunter, but I know that's important. I know finding scat is important because I've hiked before. But a hunter go, "Well, you found shit." Yeah, you found a big pile of shit means you're near your fucking lion, dipshit. So, as a hunter, you should know that. So there's a scene where Patriarch Hannes is on a tree, and she's getting fucking mansplained by a dude. And like I said earlier, it's just like the Star Trek Discovery scene where the guy's mansplaining Michael Burnham. You know, listen to me, and then it gets hit by a meteor. Well, this guy gets eaten by a fucking lion, and I laughed my fucking ass off. I'm like, what are people watching? So I just chalk it up to, I think everybody's on drugs and I'm the only sober one sometimes, but we could definitely talk about things in the future. Like, did they make her full on Mary Sue? Does she fuck up a couple of times? Absolutely. She has to get carried back because she wanted to hunt the lion. But here's the problem. After the guy just across the tree from her got eaten by the lion attacks her. She falls down, hits her head, blacks out, and the lion had her dead to rights, like dead to fucking rights. And then somehow the brother killed the lion and carried her back, but it was all off screen. I'm like, what? Plot armor. The Predator, I didn't like the look. I didn't like the face. The body type was fine. Effects were pretty good, except the bear looked fake as fuck. There's like a couple times, like it kills a snake, kills a dog, it kills a wolf. You're like, all right, that's fine. Are you warming up? What are you doing? But then, like, we get to the French hunters, okay, and they're all dicks, and yeah. I was just noticing how all the Indians had bleach white teeth, and the hunters had like horrible, like they decided to give them the horrible teeth. Maybe there's some science behind that. I don't know. But it was like bleached white teeth, not just white teeth. But again, it's a TV movie, so I'm not like too worried about any of that. I definitely see why they didn't put it in theaters. Like this would have died in theaters. I mean, is it better than the last Predator movie? I don't know. I only saw Mahler's review. I didn't see the Predator fight autism. I just was done. I'm done with Predator movies because there's only really one. So we get to the French hunters, and she gets caught, right? Her and her brother get caught, and they're bait. And then the Predator comes in, as every single person predicted. He kills all the hunters first. Now they're the biggest threat, and that's fine. Then he kind of goes after the girl, and she goes back to the camp with the guys that are left in the camp, and she ties a rope on an axe, and somehow she's like a ninja with this fucking thing after practicing, like just starting. She's not a Mary Sue. And she beats 5 guys. And there's one scene where she's like cutting one guy, and another guy has a knife in his, for one, they magically forget to use all their guns. And he's got a knife, and he stands there politely waiting to get stabbed when she's done stabbing the other guy. And it was just like, oh shit. And then she does the leg wrap around, like they all, like all the girls, the Black Widow takedown. And I was just like, oh fuck. Now, nope. But yeah. And then the Predator kills himself to get out of his own movie. That's the way I see it. The Predator kills himself to get out of his own movie at the end. It's so ridiculous that, yeah. So like, I guess like not a terrible start. It wasn't terribly exciting. It's not anything. I had to watch it twice. And the second time I just did it in 20-minute increments. It's only about an hour and a half long. Don't waste your time. I wouldn't waste your time. But if you really have an hour and a half to completely waste on something you will not remember, go ahead. But hey, according to Perry Nemiroff, this is the greatest Predator movie ever made. Greatest Predator movie ever made. Okay. I disagree. It's another bad Predator movie. It's just another bad one. Girl's fine. But yeah, I won't like a Ray Skywalker definition of Mary Sue. No. Plot armor. Yes. Tons of it. Layers and layers of it. She should have died 1,000 times. No, at least 5 times she should have died. And yeah, they really played up the female empowerment shit. They did at the end. So it was the end that kind of where it really goes downhill. It was silly. And, hey, but it's good that we got another female empowerment story because Westworld wasn't about female empowerment. The last 3 seasons of Game of Thrones weren't about female empowerment. Star Wars wasn't about female empowerment. Star Trek isn't about female empowerment now. Marvel isn't about female empowerment. DC isn't about female empowerment. Rings of Power isn't about female empowerment. It's a good thing we got another female empowerment story. Whew. Not enough female empowerment out there. Sandman. Spoiler free. Very sure, because I've only seen 2 episodes. I'll agree with Robert Meyer Burnett. The shit was too dark. Did they fix it? Yes, they did. And I watch it in the dark. I watch it in my theater, my home theater. So it is fucking dark in there. And I use a projection, 4K projector. Not top of the line, like $6,000 one. It's like, very, very middle of the road one. And I did not entirely dislike the first episode. Probably because Charles Dance was in it, whom I love. I thought that first episode had a really good beginning. I thought the beginning was really good. And then it was okay. Second episode, didn't like as much. And I can see where they're going. So I will preface this by saying I am not a lover of the Sandman series. I understand its importance in the comic book industry. I understand that a lot of people love it. I sold a hell of a lot of the fucking graphic novels at my comic store over 10 years. As a matter of fact, the story was still going when I got there. Sandman was still going. The Preacher was still going. A couple other books were still going. Like I caught in at the tail end, right? Yeah, I just it was never my favorite Vertigo title. I was more of a Alan Moore, Garth Ennis guy. So I'm Preacher. I think the Swamp Thing run is fucking glorious. Constantine is one of my, I love Hellblazer. Hellblazer was probably my favorite book, right? So Constantine is my favorite character and he's completely missing from this fucking show. So I'm like, fuck. Death doesn't look like Death. Lucifer doesn't look like Lucifer. I mean, I could definitely handle some changes. I think like Desire being played by a transgender character. I mean, like that kind of makes sense for the character in the book. I would say like that's the one time I'm like, yeah, it probably makes sense. And it probably works. The Lucifer's not going to work for me. And Clara Constantine we'll see. We'll see. Jenna Coleman can be a good actress, except when she plays insufferable, because then she's just insufferable. And I could not stand Clara as a fucking companion. I was so happy when that bird flew through her brain or her chest or whatever, and that killed her. So yeah. Poor Capaldi, man. Could have gone down as the greatest Doctor, I think. I think if he was given better writing, better producing, a better companion, and he still did great. He still did great. The dude's the man. Absolute the man. I didn't know much about him till he became the Doctor, and I was not sold on him at first. Then I became sold on him. Lots of respect for that dude. But I digress. Dream, I think pretty well cast. But it's really obvious that we have a white male lead and we need to make up for it by gender and race swapping absolutely everybody else, except for the bad guys, except for the Corinthian, who is pretty good in it. Patton Oswalt's voice is like, I want to stick pencils in my ear when I hear it. I can't stand that dude. Flash put up a tweet today that I just could not agree more with. Could Patton Oswalt and Kevin Smith just fuck off forever out of nerddom? You're not fucking nerds. You're Hollywood douchebags now. You're sellout Hollywood douchebags. Go away. Go retire. Stop popping up on every fucking nerd. Like, it's so basic, bitch. It's like rolling out Stephen Colbert to your Rings of Power. Pfizer Colbert. But yeah, so I will probably finish the Sandman, and I don't know. Does anybody care? I mean, not, I know there's a ton of Sandman comics fans, but yeah, I just don't. I know this thing has been in production forever. It, like, being a streaming series is what it should be, and it just got released in the wrong time. And again, it's like, it was a story that already had those elements in it, and they just turned them up to 11, and it just takes you out of it, man. It does. But there are some things that look excellent. For sure. And it really reeks of corporate edicts coming down to creatives. I'm not going to defend Neil Gaiman. I think he's written a damn good Doctor Who episode. Damn, Doctor's Wife is just one of the best. And he's written some good comics. Sandman has just never been my favorite. I prefer the Books of Magic. I prefer American Gods. As far as books are concerned, Good Omens. I like the book. But he's never been like, I think he's really good. I don't think he's great. I think he's really good at times, but I don't think he's great. Honestly, his best book is about Hitchhiker. It's his first book. So yeah, we'll wait and see on Sandman. Prey, whatever. It's super average, super duper average. I disagree completely, totally, and utterly with anybody who says the female empowerment message isn't in Prey. Like, thoroughly. Could not disagree more. It is absolutely there. It is, they marketed that way. They told you it was going to happen, and they did it. Now, she wasn't flying through, doing, karate and kung fu and just fucking slaying animals and predators left and right. No, it's a very small story where they're chasing, she's kind of just walking through the woods, and everybody's like, the woods are so gorgeous. It's like, go outside. Go hike. It's better in this movie. Like, remember when nerddom was nerddom? Like, we should be like at Bigfoot versus Predator right now, or Batman versus Predator. Like, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see Pocahontas versus Predator. It's just not a very enticing story. Predators versus I know they did Alien versus Predator and they suck, but like, whatever. Like, at least they had tried to have fun. I was thinking back to like the Ghost Rider movies. They're bad, right? But they're like normal bad. And it's Nick Cage at his most Nick Cage-ness. So I adore him for that. I know they're not good, but I own them, and I would watch them again 100 times before I'd watch Prey. Because we're clearly not getting what we want. Like a Lord of the Rings Second Age, we want to see Sauron, Celebrimbor, the forging of the rings, the destruction of Eregion, and then Celebrimbor, his dead body being put on a stake as a war banner at the end. That's the shit we want to see. We don't want to see Galadriel and Tarmiriel pinky swear and fight some orcs. And people, like, You can say that, by the way. It's totally okay to say that. This goes back to 2017. This is why my channel is fucking here. Because nobody wanted a female doctor and they were afraid to say it because they were made to be afraid to say it. So the Doctor Who fandom, being the nice fandom that it used to be, will be very polite and British and give this a chance. And then they saw it for a couple episodes and went, nope, this is shit. And some of us went, yeah, of course it was going to be shit because we knew what was behind the decision. It wasn't a creative decision. It was a political, agenda-filled decision. It was one to bring more, to increase the female audience. You decreased the female audience and the entire audience. And they really tried to run with, well, there's more young women watching. Yeah, there's 5 12-year-old girls watching and nobody else. And that's because their dads had the TV on. So what they're finding out, which was, I think it was Heather Antos, when she saw the breakdown of the breakdown of WB, like male skewed, or yeah, HBO Max is male skewed, Discovery is female skewed. She's like, what is this shit? It's called reality, dumbass. It's called reality. CW shows mostly watched by middle-aged men. So they can watch chicks make out. You know, Thor's failure. I promise you, there is some marketing dipshit activists going to Feige right now and explaining that the reason Thor failed was the white male lead and not the female fucking Thor and the Tessa Thompson that went in there that saddled the movie down and turned it into shit. They're actually arguing that it's the white male lead, Chris Hemsworth. And they'll probably believe it because they're firmly got their heads planted in their crotches, huffing their own farts. Well, it's obviously the white male lead because that's the bullshit that's the bullshit they fucking pulled with Mikey Gussler. You out there with Batman and Superman and Justice League? People aren't interested in white male leads. And that's like out of that movie, that's all people wanted. Did you ever know what Johnny Carson's politics were? Bob Gable for $4.99. I never knew. I suspected, but I never knew. Retro Meister, thank you for becoming a new member. West Tosha for $4.99. You see Alex Garland's Men yet? Just watched it last night. Loved the last 20 minutes. Can't really recommend because it's rough, but worth the watch. You can't recommend it, but it's worth the watch. I'm trying to get through The Boys, The Sandman, Prey, and then like fucking She-Hulk, House of the Dragon. I'm reviewing every Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. So yeah, I'm trying to rest my people a little bit because they're going to be so busy during the holidays, and rest myself. That's not going to happen, though. LOL. Ezra Miller charged with felony burglary in Vermont. Really? Says Blair to Blair. Really? Dude, he's just like a one-man crime machine. No! Oh, he's out of control. Ezra. Buddy, you need to get to a meeting, bruh. Did you hear that noise? Did you hear Zaslav dropping the axe on the Flash. I think I heard it from here. I do believe I heard it from here. Oh, no, that's why you're bringing up Olivia Newton-John. I did not see that. She passed away. Oh, no. That's so sad. No way. We lost TC yesterday, too, for Magnum PI. Well, rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. Hopelessly devoted to you. I cannot believe this, dude. Well, I can. Drugs are bad, okay? Don't do drugs, kids. Also, don't sell your integrity or any of your holes to be famous, because it will fuck you up. It will fuck you up. And this kid is fucked up. And who knows what he's been through. And like, I am not defending grooming children, because he should be in jail probably for the rest of his fucking life for that, if he indeed did it. And now if he's just out there being a crazy drug addict, well, he's going to get somebody killed for one. So somebody needs to stop him. And this is like, you can't cover for him anymore, Warner Brothers. He is affecting your brand. So you have to tell him, go to rehab or you're fired. And then you need to investigate if he's really grooming children. Oh, we're not supposed to say grooming on YouTube? What's that? We're not supposed to say grooming on YouTube. No, that's too bad. I'm going to say it anyway. Grooming, groomers, groomers. That's what these fucking weirdos are. These freaks. According to the police report, Vermont State Police were notified of a burglary. What is this motherfucker burglarizing shit? Like, when I was burglarizing shit, I needed dope. I was dope sick. By the way, it's no justification. It was a terrible thing to do, and I paid my very heavy price for it. And it's awful. Don't ever do it. But like, especially when you're fucking rich, you piece of shit. Complaint from residents in Stamford at 5:55 p.m. on May. 5:55 p.m. It's usually like a.m. when that shit happens. May 1st. On May 1st. On like this, is it? What the fuck? This thing said it came out an hour ago. Oh, he did it on May 1st, and they're charging him now? Okay. Police found that several bottles of alcohol were taken from the residence while the homeowners were not. He broke into a house to steal fucking alcohol? Alcohol. After collecting statements and looking at surveillance video, police found probable cause to charge Miller with felony burglary into an unoccupied dwelling. Well, that would be a second to third degree. Okay. It depends on how hard the judge wants to be in Vermont. Second degree, I believe, is residential, not home, and business with nobody in it. It becomes first degree when you're burglarizing when people are asleep. It's called a hot prowl, and it's not a nice thing. It's considered a quote unquote violent crime, by the way. That is considered a violent crime. Police located, at least it wasn't my case. Police located Miller on August 7th at 11:23 p.m. and issued them a citation to appear. A citation. Oh, wow. Wish I received a citation. I never fucking would have showed up. But yeah, it's a good thing I didn't. It's a good thing they took my pleb ass in, threw a $100,000 bail on me that I could not pay in Vermont Superior Court on September 26th for arraignment. No wonder why they delayed Flash. They wouldn't want him like arraigned like a month before his movie came out, right? Or a month after, I can't remember. According to a Rolling Stone investigation, the same people who investigated the drape that didn't happen in June, Miller has been housing a 25-year-old mother and her 3 children who are between ages of 1 and 5. Okay, for one, mom, fuck you. At the actor's home ranch. Where's Dad, by the way? In Stanford, Vermont. The property doubles as an unlicensed cannabis farm and has several firearms on the premises, according to report. Well, wait a minute. Isn't he against the Second Amendment and all that shit? One source who spoke to Rolling Stone alleged that the 1-year-old child has been found with loose bullet in her mouth. Ugh. Throughout Miller's arrests and controversies, the question of whether or not the Solar Flash movie will be canceled or released in theaters next year has persisted. Last week, however, Warner Brothers Discovery Zaslav reiterated that Flash will still go on, saying, "We have seen The Flash, Black Adam, and Shazam 2. We are very excited about them. We've seen them. We think they are terrific." That's weird because Black Adam rated lower than Batgirl. Lower. He didn't mention Aquaman 2, which also rated lower than Batgirl. June 23rd, 2023. Does it come out? Does it come out? I don't know. I don't know. You know what's funny? Here's Comic-Con video right here. Can you see it? You can't see it. Hang on. Let me show you Comic-Con video. There's a little Wolverine kid or whatever. Do you know, like, that TwitchCon, they dropped all the mandates. Like, the next fucking week, they dropped all the mandates. Fucking pieces of shit. Here's to our Olivia Neutron Bomb. Says Johnny David for $2 Australian. I mean, she was 73. Did she die of cancer or something? Fuck cancer. Max Power for $20. Keep up the good work, Gary. I've been watching your channel for years now. Can't wait for the lot of Rop reviews. Man, I've got a countdown clock. It's like Christmas. It might take us to Christmas too. When is it? So you got 8. So that's 2 months. So we got, after that, there's I don't know what's after that. Oh, Avatar's coming out. I don't think I'll care about that. Yeah, it's going to be nuts because usually there's a carryover of about a month after the show ends too. So algorithmically speaking, for all the newcomer YouTubers out there, if you're going to jump on that shit, you better do it now. Now is the time. Razor Fist was not wrong. There will be an entire genre created because of Lord of the Rings, and we aren't even at the meat of the product yet. To the critics of mine who say I don't know anything, I do, and I wouldn't bullshit you about that. Now, I will be completely honest. It's secondhand information coming from somebody who somewhere in the world worked on it. Same goes for Batgirl. I would say the most credible source for Batgirl out there right now is Critical Drinker. The Critical Drinker will be your most credible source on Batgirl. I won't be because I don't want to get people in trouble. The original Predator movie had more diversity. Bird up for $2. Technically, yes, you're right. It did make me want to watch the original Predator movie, which is just fantastic. I remember when I walked out of that, I was like, it was so different, right? We had these 80s action movies and they actually, like, it was cross genre. They like took full on army action movie and dropped a space alien in the middle, and he fucking shredded them, and it was fucking awesome. The premiere of the Rings of Amazon will be in Mumbai. Why the fucking Mumbai on August 19th, it seems. Oh, they're in that country? Oh, that's going to get leaked all over the fucking place. That'd be terrible if that happened. Did you folks take a peek at Sandman? I couldn't finish it. It's aggressively so woke I dropped it midway. Not a kid for 250 MKDs. What's an MKD? Thank you. I'm gonna watch it all the way through, but yeah, so didn't mind the first episode at all. Because I mean, they're really Goyer's on this though. Say I don't like Goyer. I think Goyer's a terrible writer. I think Gaiman can be a very good writer for television. Like I said, The Doctor's Wife is one of the greatest fucking Doctor Who episodes ever. But Nightmare in Silver is not very good. And he wrote that. Yeah, I can tell where it's going. And there's just been a ton of rationalization. And we'll see. It doesn't seem like it wasn't naturally trending on Twitter yesterday. It was the day before, but then it was artificial like Prey. It was all it was just promotional. Macedonian dinar. Thank you, Chris Bergia. You're awesome. It's a Macedonian dinar or a Macedonian peso. You should watch the Comanche dubbed version. I think the Comanches appreciate the movie as much as Latin people like being called Latinx. Says Slain Hope for $5. Yeah. I wonder how can't translates in Comanche, or won't, or don't, or haven't, or wasn't, because they wouldn't. I liked Predator 2 and Predators. I thought the different environments were cool, but they weren't as good as the first one, says Grizzly for $5. Yeah, I mean, like Predator 2, I own Predator 2. I do not own Predators. I mean, Predators is better than this, is better than Prey. It is. I would watch it before I watch Prey. I wish they would have done a good Alien versus Predator, though. I had such high hopes for that. I can't really decide what I think of you, says Jesse Meek for $10. Me neither. Some movie reviewers will agree, some not. But he's something these left-leaning twits can't understand. I don't have to agree with you to respect your opinions. Why, thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. I don't expect everybody to agree with me on everything. That would be silly. That would be absolutely silly. Because what used to be the case, Jesse, and we might agree on this, is there was a lot more middle of the road stuff that required debate. Right? So Dune is one of those movies for me. A lot of people thought it was the greatest thing they ever saw. And visually, it was pretty fucking good visually. Like, I'm not going to argue with that. Like, visually, top notch. I thought it was okay. I respect the quality, the cinematography, the directing. I just don't want to see it again. That's all. I mean, it's not my kind of thing. You know, I love science fiction and fantasy, but I skew more to the fun stuff. I like stuff with rogues and craziness going on, you know. Like this. Unfortunately, very bad. Not so great adaptation in film, but that's the kind of shit I like. But I respect Dune. I totally respect it. And totally deserves a sequel. And I'll watch the sequel. I'll watch it once, right? And probably never watch it again. It's kind of like how I feel about Logan. Like, when I walked out of Logan, I'm like, that was fantastic. Cinematic experience. Blah, 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 blah. And I've never seen it again because it was so fucking depressing. But there were parts of Dune I really liked. Like the Baron. That was good shit. I started meandering around in the desert. I was like, I like the David Lynch version, though. That's fun. That's fun. Hopefully they put a little more levity into it. That's what I'm looking for. Matthew Hammond. But yeah, like we don't have to agree on everything. Please don't. I'm not looking for a cult. Discovery Warner, and by the way, like that, you're totally welcome here. But you know, we don't pussyfoot around shit here. Just saying. Okay? You're welcome, but we don't pussyfoot. Discovery Warner Brothers could save so much money by subscribing to your channel, Gary, and watching today's live stream. Oh, thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. I'd be happy to talk to him. Zaz, dude, I'll buy you lunch. I'll go out to LA. We'll go to the counter. Is that still there? Is that still open? Did it survive the coup? Because the counter's good. I'll buy you a $30 burger, buddy. And in an hour, I'll save you $500 million because we'll eat the burger and we'll go, that was delicious. Fire Jar Jar Abrams. I wouldn't ask the man for a dime for doing that. I think it's just for the good of the world. For the good of the world. Blackguard 64 for $20 for the 500 million to 1 billion cost of the Rings of Power series. I'm not seeing where the money is in what they've shown so far. I'm wondering if some money is just disappearing somewhere. It feels a bit producers-esque. It really does. Blackguard 64. Thank you for the $20. And that's fundamentally the problem with streaming TV, particularly with Disney Plus. Like, I don't like Disney Plus doesn't have showrunners. They don't have showrunners. So it's Kevin Feige working on like 6 or 7 projects in a row. He gets notes. He shoots these notes back. And like, this is, I've heard this directly from creatives who work on the shows. They give notes. They give suggestions. Some of them really, really fucking tried to make things better. And they were shot down at almost every turn, to the point where with Miss Marvel, they had to beg somebody to come back and fix the series. Because the writing was so atrocious. So somebody who I can't say the name, but somebody didn't want to come back or wasn't like keen on it. One of their diversity hires, right? Discovered that they were a diversity hire and they were not too happy about it. And they're like, fuck them. And they were asked to come back and fix things by somebody else, by the way, not Kevin Feige. The Kevin Feige who's showing all the support for the Batgirl directors that he didn't listen to it all. Yeah, that's Feige. He's a producer. That's what they do. Lindsay Weber worked on Cloverfield. Worked with Bad Reboot. And has decided that Tolkien has not been accessible to anyone. But if any of them would ever, you know what? It's very rare, but it happens when people want to reach out and talk. I won't go on a live stream. We can talk. I don't have all the answers. The only thing I know is, like, I was fortunate enough to have this channel and have the shop. And when I had this channel and had the shop, same goes for my wife too, who worked at a salon, right? So like trend scouting is like something she had to do for her job. And she kind of taught me how to do it, right? Because it's something I was always into anyways, like as a kid, just being in the pop culture. But she taught me like how to like really trend scout, like what you're looking for and stuff. And I do that in the combination of talking to different people every day for years. You kind of know like the fandom. I think they all agree they want good stuff. And the introduction of intersectionalism and identity politics was all the corporations with the help of the access media. People are just done with it. They're just done. So release your praise, release your rings of power. I mean, did you learn nothing from Terminator Dark Fate? That was like the biggest lesson. That thing flopped so fucking hard. And everybody forgot it because of the coof. You don't see Tim Miller getting a bunch of jobs, do you? Guy directed the first Deadpool movie, which is really fucking good. Slain Hope for $10. I wonder if Hollywood is testing people for monkey business pox as aggressively as they did for COVID. No Hollywood studio bathroom is safe now. Progressiveness is a public health hazard. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a problem in that town. We'll just say that. Cornelius Bronelius says, what about the flintlock gun in the Predator movie? Did the Predator get it? Well, the flintlock gun is it's at the end of this one. But no, the little squaw has it. I think. No, did she get it back? She shot him in the head. Pointed it again. I think she had it towards the end. But he shot himself. Because she put a shield up, right? So his targeting thing went jing, 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 and he didn't notice. So when he fires, it goes, shoots himself right in the head. Kills himself to get out of his own fucking movie. That's right. That member berry was in there, though. There's a couple of more member berries, too. But it's like, this is what they do. This is their forced in shit. They make a prequel. They have the girl do it first. That's agenda based. That way, you are trying to usurp the original. Like, we're going to improve the problem with this because there's too much masculinity in the Predator movie. So we'll just have the girl with like inferior weapons do it first because it's progressive. Dude, it's bad reboot 101. It's everything they did with Star Trek Discovery encapsulated into an hour and a half boring movie. Westosha, thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate it. Max Power. Keep up the good work, Gary. Oh, I read that one. Okay. Let's go up here. We got the donation side. We got anime. Kimmy, what's up, dude? We'll get to you in a second. Oh my God. You and Man of War have got a lot there. Okay, so I'll get to those. I'll get to WG for $50. And by the way, sorry, I always say anime. Cami Anime. It was great meeting you at Anime Matsuri. I can't believe you made that effing drive. That was epic. It was awesome meeting. Can't wait to meet you again. I'm glad you got home safe. I was a little worried about you because you said you were going to be driving all night. But dude, you're awesome, man. It was great seeing you. WG for $50. Gary, how can you not like Prey? The She-Manchi warrior. I'm stealing that. The She-Manchi warrior had a freaking tomahawk yo-yo for crying out loud. She was totally cool, stunning, and literally as brave. Please self-report your misogyny to Ryan Kinnell for sensitivity retraining. do better. Ryan, I guess I'm the first person who needs to talk to you. Offer Nave, that, by the way, this is on the donation side, circumventing that whore Mama Susan. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. That was terrible. Now I'm really gonna have to see Ryan. Ezra Miller is kidnapping kids in South Dakota, burglarizing homes in Vermont, and running a grooming cult and incel. Gary, I think he might be the Flash. No one else could move that fast. Oh, that's good. He might actually be the Flash. He's the reverse Flash. Yeah. That was good. Cami Anime. It says S at the end. I'm just going to say Cami Anime. We got a few here. I got to see where they start. Gary, I don't understand why they can't make a show that could take place over multiple years. They spend $1 billion on that shit. They have so much story to cram in all into 5 seasons. Like you could even do 5 seasons for every 1,000 years. Like you could even do 5 seasons of the Forging of the Rings, which I would argue out of all of it is probably the most compact thing. And that still happens like over... Yeah, it's dumbfounding. But when you consider that these are, and like the reason I harp on this, I have to repeat because we're getting new people all the time, but this is a repeated behavior of bad reboot disciples. What they do is they just regurgitate. They don't even recycle. They don't even repurpose. They regurgitate. They take a couple of things that you might remember, they stick it in their mouth, they gobble it all up, and they puke it on a fucking screen. And because that puke is really colorful, the seals clap. Burp, burp, burp. Like Galadriel, I don't care if she uses a sword. It just doesn't make sense for her. She's a magician. She's a mage. She's a fucking, she's an elf, but yeah, she is a magic user. She sees. She is powerful. She is a ruler. There's a lot of problems with The Hobbit. Galadriel walking up barefoot and taking on the Nazgul was not one of the things I had a problem with. I fucking love that scene. The music is spectacular. The fights choreography is fucking spectacular. You make 90-year-old Christopher Lee fucking just like Yoda in Attack of the Clones. It was fucking awesome, dude. It was fucking awesome. I was like, yes. But that's power. That was the power of Galadriel. And then like when she comes up at the end, she, you have no power here. Nameless. That part was fucking awesome. I love it. It's like these writers are smoking crack. That would at least be a legitimate excuse, Cami Anime, if they were crackheads. All you have to do is make her run out of magic. Boom, solved. Just make her Galadriel. Like she can be a leader. Absolutely. This show can be about her. Absolutely. But this isn't Galadriel. It's Dude Ladriel. Like I've said in a battle, like I've said, her in a battle, and then maybe she runs out of magic power. You could write her to then pick up a sword or finish fighting, shake my head, and maybe also put some armor on. Well, yes, elven armor for one. because she doesn't have magic to defend herself. It's like these writers are stupid. They are. Like, you could put her in fight situations. Like, I don't think anybody would argue about this, but like, there is a scene where she is training fucking Numenorians. It's fucking insane. Insane. Or training other elves. It was either Numenorians or other elves, how to slay orcs. And there was like a scene where it's like, you get them in the gut. Galadriel. First, you take out their entrails, then you chop their balls off and hang them on a tree. It's like these creators have never seen a story with a character with limited power, like Harry Potter. When his magic runs out, what happens? He picks up weapons. That's how you write something. Like that with a character that's powerful. I guess my final message, but as a writer, this is the shit you have to explain. Like, why isn't Galadriel using her most powerful options? And in the show, I don't think they are going to explain shit. I don't think they wait for this shit to come out. That they won't, because they had an idea of they wanted female empowerment, and they were going to get it however they were going to get it. And J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay got the job based solely on that. They were willing to come in, tell the executives exactly what they wanted to hear, and claim their fans, claim their big fans. We're the nerd company. We're Bad Reboot. We made Star Trek and Star Wars. And believe me, the bankers who don't know shit wouldn't know the fucking difference. So they thought these guys were fucking experts and we're hiring the right people. And Tolkien would totally be fine with fucking lesbian scissoring all through his series and fucking a dude Ladriel. Because unfortunately, it's not talent which sells in Hollywood now because it's producer driven. It is bullshit. So if you're good at bullshit, you're going to get it work. And bullshit has overpowered talent now. Man of War 665, the neighbor of the beast. How about we get some funny book talk on Tuesday's funny book show? Well, I actually have a lot to talk about in that department, Man of War. Based on a Razor Fist tweet. I'll give you it's as his show tomorrow, but I'll definitely introduce this to him. Razor Fist, I'm going to paraphrase what he said. Said he greatly underestimated the power of librarians in the comic book industry. And I think that's a normal thing to do. Not a lot of people knew the power that the libraries had with Scholastic. Now, the way it was back in my day was a comic shop would get a contract through the library. They would order comics through the comic shop because Diamond would not give them terms, the library's terms. So what the comic shops did, at least this is how it was done in the Bay Area, right, with two shops. And I did not do it. I did not get the opportunity because I was not one of the big boys. The libraries would pay once every 6 months. So you order all these fucking graphic novels that these librarians are ordering, paid for by you. And then they would pay the comic shops twice a year, once a year. I think that changed. And I think Diamond finally gave them terms, or somebody finally gave them terms or something to where they could just pay once a year so they can order direct now. I'm not sure though. But long story short, it's subsidized comic books. You are paying for them. Your librarians are buying a bunch of woke shit. They have a bunch of woke power. By the way, they're almost exclusively woke white women. Like 99.9%. And they got more and more power when the comic companies were relying more on that subsidy. Guess what other publisher was relying heavily on that? Scholastic. So we have schools and libraries. And that's when all of a sudden kids' books started showing up as comic books. It's like weird. It's almost like it was government subsidized. Was it purposely government subsidized? No, I think it was more out of a need because less people were reading comics because they turned to shit. And then the librarians and the teachers and Scholastic had a more say. I mean, look at your new release racks in your comic shops. They're smaller and they're getting smaller. So we'll definitely talk about that. Suggest Razorback on with Arc Warhammer and canceled author Brandon Lee Pardo. Totally, Manowar. Absolutely. Which occurred mere months after BlackRock invested 1.5 to the Wokesters, owner of Fanatics and Tops, holders of the BattleTech IP, which Michael Rubin nearly doubling its value. Yes, BlackRock and Blackstone are investing in a lot. I know there's a lot of people out there again saying there's no ESG money. There's no money. It's not money. It's a credit rating. It's a credit rating, and it absolutely exists. And it absolutely is affecting absolutely fucking everything. But no, they're not giving you money. You're saving it with a credit rating because, fuck, a lot of our businesses aren't solvent. I mean, it's a big fucking shell game right now. Ezra Miller has been charged. I read that one. One of the final things, Primal season 2 is out with 4 episodes so far. I can't wait to watch this series when the season 2 is done because I never watched it before. Dude, that's Anime Kimmy for $1. Primal is probably the best thing on TV right now. It's fantastic. There are no words. It's Tartakovsky. It's his best work. It's on Hulu. You can watch it other places too. Fucking Primal. Primal. It's absolutely the best. All right, we got to wrap things up. I'm going to try to get to a few more. I'm recording my square up, by the way. I was going to do it live, and it's just like, I got to record it. So we're going to record it. It'll be on Nerdrotic Live in the next 24 hours. I think I'll work on another video. I got to do a Marvel one. I almost have to make it for other content creators, like not for you guys. Because I just want to find out who's dumb or disingenuous when it comes to the shills. I suspect I know. It's kind of like with Doctor Who. Hey, by the way, Screen Rant did a top 10 of Doctor Who channels. Not surprisingly, I was not on it, but neither was my good friend, formerly Bowles Trek. Is now Cultivated Media. By the way, go check them out. Yeah, neither of us made the list. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Az didn't make it either. We've covered a ton of Doctor Who, a ton, and collectively had more views than any of those channels on the list. But that's okay. Hey, up and coming channels, you go get them. Tolkien's work was already made for all people to enjoy, no matter where in the world they might live and what their background, except for Brie Larson. It wasn't made for her, says Daniel for $10. How has no one done a Coming to America So Glow commercial over the Lord? Oh, well, somebody will now, Pirate Tomsky, for 10 British pounds. So Glow commercial over the Lord of the Rings of Power. Hey, we got to watch that Lofty thing. And by the way, a correction here. And this is, hey, dude, I'm not a professor. I am not an expert. Half the shit I'm going off of, I read 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So Joe User, a member for 6 months, by the way, says Durin the Fourth checks in from the third age. Oopsie doopsie. But is he on the family tree in the? Fuck. I'll have to go look. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I'm gonna trust our members. Joe User, thank you. Hail Gary, hope you're doing good this Monday. What's up, Snow? What's up, Snow Dub? My kid was wearing your shirt when we were out yesterday. Day before yesterday. Went out with my kid. Hung out with my boy. It was nice. We went to the bookstore. Went to Flying Saucer, which is a good restaurant. It's got like a bunch of saucers everywhere. It's like not like UFOs, but saucers. People write shit on. It's pretty good though. All right, a couple more and then I'm out. All these members, look at you. War of the Rohirrim anime, Amazon's is going to be much better. Vertical Horizon. I think that's actually going to be quite good. Based on what I've heard, who's involved in it creatively, and I am truly, honestly, heartfelt looking forward to it. Michael Dunn, welcome to the radicalized level. Southeastern Kaiju. As the final hours of my Prime subscription count down, I'll be relying on you and others to keep me updated and briefed on the hilarious disaster that is the Rings of Power. Hail, I'll be watching. Cheers to you. Look at you canceling your Prime membership. Damn, I might have to do that too. I'll just be forced to go shop for shit. Okay. And Malik, is it Gurley? I'm sorry if I said it's Gurley. As a kid, I grew up on the Jackson films and games. Since the show's announcement, I have decided for the first time to read in order the Silmarillion, the Great Tales, the Hobbit, finishing off with the Rings films. Damn this show. Hail to you. Read those books. They're good. Cheeto Galadriel, will say of us all. Says Bam Ham Yum for $2. Most of these people look like the Rings of Homeless, says Eric K for $2. Yeah, they do. They really do. They already screwed Celeborn over. I am terrified what they will do to Elendil. The human spirited five. They're going to make him bad dad. They're going to make him bad dad. Promise you. I fucking promise you. Anyone endorsing Rings of Power needs to read Tolkien's forward in Fellowship of the Ring and be honest. Aiken for $7.99 Australia. And that is the key. That is the key to everything. Be honest. Whether you agree with me or not. Like, it's very hard to take somebody seriously when they were invited to a premiere, given a bunch of swag, and then come and say, I am not a shill. I guess I'm a paid shill because I said yes. I have politely said no to a few things. One I really did want to make, and I couldn't. And I'll tell you what it was, the Orville premiere. I was invited to the Orville premiere. My wife and I were invited to the Orville premiere, and we just couldn't do it, or I would have gone. I would have totally gone. But it just wasn't in the cards. Other premieres I have been invited to. And I said, "Niet." Last one I went to, probably the last one I'm ever going to go to, was The Boys. I saw The Boys. But I get invited this stuff once in a while. But I generally just would rather watch it live with you guys. I mean, it'd have to be something like really fucking, like, I know that would be good. And I just can't think of anything right now. I can't. Thunderstorm, you're right. The Rings of Power is going to be shit. It's going to be shit. Cole Hauser, hey Gary, remember when Jack Bauer from the 24 wasn't afraid to torture certain people and bad politicians without remorse? I miss great shows. You're the best, Gary. Keep up the good work. Peace out. Thanks, Cole Hauser. You're the best. I couldn't possibly be the best when you're the best. Thanks for the Canadian pesos. Have you seen a Patty Constantine film yet? Dead Man's Shoes? If so, A Room for Romeo Brass is also pretty good, although my taste may be in doubt. Richard Curtis, it's okay. I've seen him in something. I know I've seen him in something. I can't think of what it is. Here, let's see. I'll IMDb it before we go. I hate the new IMDb, by the way. Boop-a-doop, boop, boop. I've seen him in like a comedy or something. World's End. I've seen World's End. I liked World's End. The Gary character, a little close to home in the beginning. I have not seen that. And he's been Hot Fuzz. I've seen Hot Fuzz. But like not a lot of other stuff. Peaky Blinders. Yeah, he was in. Oh, that's right. Father John Hughes. There you go. Okay, Peaky Blinders. I've seen him in Peaky Blinders. He's a good actor. I think he's good. I think he'll be very good for series. It sounds like he's adding something to the character that George didn't. They're making him likable. So they're not making him like this. George R. Martin wrote Viserys Targaryen like kind of an aloof, or he seemed that way. And it turns out like it's kind of a ruse. Like he's really knows what's up. And it's a way to, it's actually a brilliant way. It's a grifting method. You convince, if you're a grifter, if you're a thief, first rule, convince everybody in the room you're the dumbest motherfucker in there. People let down their guard. It's really terrible advice. You shouldn't listen to that. All right, I gotta roll. I gotta go. We'll get the rest on the Square Up. I'd like to thank everyone, including the Nerdrotics, for doing a great job. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and hanging out. I'd like to thank everyone who left a donation and became a member and left a super chat. You help keep the lights on. What happened to Bull's Trek? Bull's Trek, he got sick of the bullshit. And after the RTD signing, he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna like not say anything, but I'm gonna wait and see. But I don't have a lot of hope. And a lot of people were getting super hopeful with the RTD signing. And I was like, I'm open to this. I'll take a look. But it ended up being fool's gold. So he ended up being right. Bull's Trek was right from the beginning. It's going to be woke shit, and it's going to be tough to sit through a Tenet episode that's woke. Fuck, that's going to... God, I hope that... that will be hard. I might nope out on that. We'll see. Butt Weasel for $9.99. The part when Sauron came up to Galadriel at the end of season dance and said, "Nobody puts baby in the corner," gave me sweaty thighs. All right. Per Truth Social, Mar-Lago just got raided. What? Fucking this government is out of control. Out of fucking control. And Trump's got to, he's got to be ready for this shit too. He's got to have his legal team ready for this shit. Thing is, you got DeSantis now. Yeah, good luck with the 60th anniversary special. I'll need it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Real BBC on Az's channel. Don't forget it's on. No, is it on mine? I think it's on mine. I think it's on mine. Sorry, because I missed a week, so it's on my channel. And yeah, we'll talk to Mahler, we'll talk to Az, we'll talk to Nina about Prey. I think we have kind of 3 or 4 different opinions about it, and that's fine. You've seen me and Jeremy argue. You've seen Az and Jeremy argue. That will happen again. I promise you. It will happen again. And that's part of nerddom. And that was the good part that I kind of miss. I kind of miss the debate. I'm not going to debate with bread tubers. I'm not going to debate with fucking bread tubers. Fuck that shit. If you and Superman got in a fight, who would win? Superman would kick my fucking ass. It would be so over so quick. Yeah. I'd be crying for mama. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Lofty. That's what we'll end with, is a YouTube safe version of your video. Awesome. So let's wrap it up. Okay. This is really good, by the way. This is really, really good. I'll be right back right after it's on. Okay. So here we go. Oh, don't hit that fucking share audio. There we go. This is by Lofty Pixels.
Okay, what we're seeing here now is what looks like some sort of ancient creature being viciously attacked by a white supremacist wizard for no apparent reason. We now know that Durin's folk and his Nazi followers had been mining for mithril to fund their capitalist agenda. And mind you, the dwarves of color in the region are shocked and saddened by the disturbance of such a fiery but peaceful creature.
Do you want to know?
I also have news from Rivendell that the Proud Fellowship, led by the alt-right cult hero Frodo Baggins, is in possession of the One Ring. This is a very deadly weapon which Frodo has carried across state lines, despite the fact that he resides in the Shire, which, as you know, is a predominantly white suburban neighborhood. We will, of course, keep you updated on this tragic situation as it unfolds. Back to you, Galadriel. Thank you, Don Lemon. Aaron dear. Stay safe. Well, there you have it, folks. White people are objectively the single most violent race in all of Middle-earth. They leave nothing but destruction wherever they go. What's that? My producer is telling me something. Lothlorien has the highest population of whites in Middle-earth? And we haven't had a single instance of violent crime here in over 2,000 years?
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
That is it for us today. I'm Galadriel. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album.
I love how. Hang on.
We'll leave you with
Rivendell, 74 degrees. Lothlorien, 73. By the way, Rivendell, I know I said this in the chat already, but I'm gonna fucking say it anyway. Where the fuck was I in that chat? I can't remember. Was it Tuesday night main event? It all bleeds together. Is an average of 6 degrees Celsius. Okay, everybody knows that. Okay, wait, we got one more. That was, by the way, well done, Lofty. I'm sure the show will be great, dude. I'm sure it'll be just fucking, I'm sure it'll be everything you wanted. I'm sure Galadriel will be just scissoring vigorously Muriel for 8 episodes. It'll be fucking great. Now we're going to end with something that's going to get me hit, and I don't give a shit. And I meant that to rhyme. Oh, damn it. Stupid check mark. I got to get that. This is for Amazon, by the way. This is for Amazon. For fucking claiming my fucking video. You bastards, I'm going to fight you to the bitter end.
I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be.
It's a masterpiece. It's a fucking masterpiece edited by a beautiful black woman, by the way. Can't say all the words on YouTube on that was in there. Had nothing to do with it. I just played it, though. Hope you enjoyed it. And fuck Amazon. I will win. I will win. Yes, they came after my last video. 24 hours after it was just fine. It's only currently blocked in Japan right now. So Ginger Ninja, sorry, dude, you can't see my video. But yeah, I don't think I have a huge audience in Japan. I mean, show yourselves if you're out there. But in the meantime, it's doing just fine. So this will be re-uploaded on Nerdrotic Live later. If you missed any of it, or just hang on to the link. And I will see you guys tomorrow on the Real BBC with Az from Heel vs. Babyface, Mauler, and Nina Infinity. Y'all have a very, very good day.
Nerdrotic.com.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.